Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy XIV reaction. Today we have Be My Honey as requested by Cross Lantern, the Patreon producer Q. He said that this one got stuck in a lot of people's heads for a while after it came out, and that I will soon see why. And after listening to other ones like Back to the Drawing Board, I'm very concerned that this might be the case, where I'm going to end up with this song stuck in my head for God knows how long, and I'm not going to be able to unhear it. So I guess my fate is sealed once I hit play, and without further ado, let's go. Okay. Already getting J-pop out of it. I mean, not that the name wasn't an obvious hint as to what vibe it was gonna try to do. Simple, effective, definitely pop. What worries me is what's gonna happen when it drops, you know? That's always the worst / best part. We're still building up here. Unless this is the chorus. Uh-oh. I still feel like they're trying to build up. See, like, breaks like this. And like this. I'm like, there's more coming. But maybe not. I can still see how this would get stuck in the head. There it is. I can feel it. I can tell. As if I haven't heard plenty of pop in my time. Very easy to get that stuck in the head. It's a very simple approach to pop, but that's what makes it so effective. I'm actually kind of surprised it's in English, to be honest with you. I wonder if there is like a Japanese version. There might be. Could just be translated for the game. It's actually reminding me of something very oddly specific. I'll talk about that later though. I'm actually really surprised at how patient this song is with building to the full chorus. There's so many false starts. Just once I start in, can't help it. But yeah, this chorus, 100% getting stuck in someone's head. I don't think we'll wrap back around to it again. But there's a spot that has like a more jazzy beat in it. That's kind of surprising to me, that it's like in there, you know? It's one of the pre-chorus sections, one of the many. We might actually, though. I don't know when this is gonna fade out. The character looks close to being beaten, so I don't know if we'll get there. I'm okay sitting here vibing, seeing if it does happen. Oh. So like all this drum-wise is very dancey. So that's a little different. That break there, it's not the one I'm talking about. Oh, I think we will get to it. Yep, right here. Like, this isn't anything super specific, but it's just an alternate on the beat. A little bit more Latin, you know? We did make it back around one more time. Rip in pieces, honeybee girl. Yeah, that was fun. Weird because of how they approached it, but fun. Honestly, I did not expect getting to hear Hatsune Miku today, but here we are. This is really weird because of how it's structured, like I said. There are so many different approaches to this song that feels like it was a bunch of things that they weren't sure if they should, like, transition during the song. That doesn't make it bad. It's just more of like you can tell that they were writing this to take up a certain amount of time before it looped back around. And you have to do that for video game music. I talk about that a lot. Even in a song like this, you have to make sure that it's going to last a certain length of time so you don't run out of that time and it gets too repetitive too quick, especially for a song like this, something more poppy that especially gets more grating and tiring to more people faster. So that's a good idea to make the song spread out a little bit more and have more of that time taken up before it loops back around, just like it usually tends to be, to avoid that fatigue. But also with some of the stuff they were doing in there, you could tell that the writers were just kind of throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, and if it works, it works, kind of like that Latin-esque rhythm in there. I don't know if it's a specific Latin rhythm. It definitely sounded Latin, but at the same time, it could have been anything. It could have just been like, hey, we need to change it up a little bit here. Do something funky, drummer boy, and that's what happened. Could have been anything. But just the fact that it took so long to get to the chorus alone is kind of surprising to me, and that they don't wrap back around for like another 30 seconds to a minute after that. So it's just a really long song. But that weird, obscure thing I was going to mention, the thing that it reminded me of specifically, this sounded like a song that would be produced by somebody in the Australian K-pop, J-pop scene. If you don't know what that is, there's literally a whole subculture of people in Australia, and I'm sure New Zealand as well, that do the whole K-pop, J-pop thing in their own time as part of their own free time, and they want to be idols, and there's a whole idol culture there, but it's all people from the local area, so you don't get that many people from Japan or anything. There are a few, and definitely some people in there who just kind of share ideas, and some will come down and join those groups for like mini events, and sometimes there are people who moved from Japan to Australia, yada yada yada. You get the point. Point is, this sounds like something that was kind of written for that culture. It's a little bit different, and by that I almost mean it's kind of gentrified in a way, and I don't mean that in a negative light in this case. It's just a different vibe. It's a different approach, because while they're still trying to do the idol culture thing, they're not usually professional producers making these things. It's usually somebody's friend or somebody that they just hired to make whatever, and their job is to get close enough, but they're not like true blue producers in that scene. So you get stuff like this that feels like it's somebody who's not experienced in making these songs because it's not really their job. And I'm sure that that's the case for this one. It's just whatever composer, and they were like, hey, can you make something vaguely idol coded? And they were like, sure, I think I can. And then they sat there with their head in their hands for hours wondering how they were going to pull it off, and this is the result. It feels kind of weird to say that because I'm sure the person who wrote this is probably a native Japanese person and they were hired to do other songs. But again, it's just the fact that they probably don't do this all the time, and that lack of experience is very obvious to me in this song. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but also you can tell it's trying to parody slash be, that I just realized the pun there. Oh God. But that they're trying to parody or produce something that they're not used to doing in that scene. So it just ends up sounding like that. But also that could very well be the point of this character, being an overall parody of that sound. So let's have an English person sing it sounding really cutesy and kind of goofy and just like go full bore into this is ridiculous sort of approach to it and make it a full parody. I could definitely see that being the case given the other stuff that I've seen as a part of this, like Drawing Board, for example, being basically Splatoon. You know, I could totally understand the parody approach, but even if it is supposed to be a parody, I can just kind of taste that this person, this composer, isn't used to writing stuff like this. There's just something to the way it's mixed and made that just doesn't feel quite right, and definitely like they don't quite know what they're doing. But again, that's just fine, especially if it's a parody. That honestly kind of makes it better. But I've been yapping about this one for a while, so I'll let you all go here. Thank you, Crosslancer, for putting this into the queue. There are many more songs to come. I think there might be another one from Final Fantasy in the queue yet, I think, and it's probably another Crosslancer request, so if you want to see more of those, there's definitely more to come. And of course, if like Crosslancer, you want to guarantee that I listen to a song, you can go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships. There's a tier that will force me to listen to whatever you got, no matter how good or bad it is. It can be weird, it can be funny, I don't care. I will listen to it. That's the point of a guaranteed request. But otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!